okay. Pero si tayo, di ba,
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair. Yes, we have a forum with the attendance to the following. Attorney Mark Palomar, Chairperson. Ms. Liza S. Martinez, Vice Chairperson, attending via Zoom. Attorney Maria Santron Yasmin de los Santos, Regular Member. Engineer Elvis R. Vidal, Regular Member, attending via Zoom. Mr. Russell Tuto Badilla, Regular Member, attending via Zoom. Representative from PMO NCR South, Board Manager Elito P. Fortahana, attending via Zoom. And representative from PMO Davao, Board Manager Annalie Avila, attending via Zoom. We have in attendance as well the members of the Secretariat, then the members of the Technical Working Group. On the part of the servers, we have representative from the Supply Chain Management Association of the Philippines. On the part of the prospective bidders, we have representative from Media Equipment International Corporation, CCR Network Port Services Incorporated, Manila International Cargo Terminal Incorporated, Manila North Harbor Port Incorporated, Mega Lifters Cargo Handling Corp, and Civic Bakery Port Green Terminal Services Incorporated.
Thank you. Thank you for going and sharing lessons. There's a form which your PTMC number 008-2022 from order. Today.
We have the following items for today. Mr. Chair, first is the private conference with the Port Terminal Management Contract for the Port of Pasig River, Manila. And for other matters, the presentation and approval of the terms of reference for Port of San Salvador.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Proceed to the first item on our agenda, the private conference.
The Port Terminal Management Contract for Port of Pasig was advertised last April 2022 in the Manila Times and was posted on the PPA website and at a conspicuous place in the PPA premises. The concession period for the project shall be 15 years with a minimum concession fee of 2,486,807,087 pesos and 05 centavos exclusive of all taxes. May we now know from the representatives of Media Equipment International Corp if they have questions regarding the bid talks.
Yes, thank you very much. If I may request the speaker at...
Thank you, Kim. Can you turn your camera? Thank you, Kim.
Okay, sir, can you hear me?
Yes, can you turn on your camera?
Okay. Camera.
Good afternoon. Do you have any questions for us?
Okay. Okay, now.
Do you have any questions?
Yes. Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. I just have a few questions, and in the interest of time, if you would indulge my request, please, to ask a few questions in succession. I'm just curious as to when the awarding of the contract will take place. Is my first question.
The awarding of the contract will take place after, well, first we have the opening. After the opening, there is a bid evaluation. After the evaluation, there is a post-qualification. And then after the post-qualification, once the report is approved, a notice of award is issued.
Okay. Is there a specific date for that?
Not this time, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Second question is there a master plan for the Port of Pasig as mandated in PPA AO03-2016, Section 6.2?
Sir Elvis?
Yes. Is there a master plan that you can present to those present here that is pursuant to PPA Administrative Order 03-2016, Section 6-2?
Sir Elvis? This is, can you answer the question regarding the master plan? This is not prejudice regarding the guidelines in the issuance of the master plan because I'm not quite sure if we can give you a copy, we can present the master plan. Sir, existence of master plan.
Yes. Again, okay. Do you have a master plan, sir?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Mr. Baltasar. Yeah, we have a master plan, and if you would like to have a copy, I will give you. I will give it to you.
Okay.
Unilaterally release the master plans if we only release the terms of reference. So
Okay.
in the FOI.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, in that master plan, does it take into account that there is a sunken vessel at one part of the North Bank, which renders that area inoperable?
Sir, I think you're going beyond the scope of the terms of reference.
I don't think so, because you have specified a specific 43.x thousand square meters of operating area. If there is an operating area that is not operable, then I think the bidders should be informed.
However, the TOR has a plus, and it is the responsibility of we're filling out the area, the responsibility of the bidders to inquire on the actual usage of the plus. So whether or not the master plan covers the sunken vessel is outside the TOR.
All right, if you say so. Now, how about the plans of the DPWH to construct a road that will cut into the area that is planning to be bid out? Is that included in any plan at all? Doesn't have to be the master plan, but the bidders here have to know what their operating area is going to be, because it will affect the bottom line.
Plan none has been presented before the BAC, and that's not part of our TOR. So what we're only offering is what is provided for under the plan. If there are plans by other agencies, no plans were presented during the presentation of the original terms of reference. So I don't think we can answer regarding the plans of the DPWH.
But sir, how can I calculate my bid, my return on investment, et cetera, if the square area that you have presented in your TOR is different from what I will see if I win the bid?
Sir, as of now, this is the area which we are offering under the TOR is the area which DPA is offering as a concession. Now, if there are conditions after the implementation of the contract which would affect the performance of the concessionaire, I think you should negotiate with management regarding that. But as of now, we are offering the area provided under the TOR.
But sir, I was informed by the PPA that the DPWH had such a plan.
It has not been presented before the BAC, so we have no information regarding that.
But that is a matter of import for businessmen like us.
As of now, what was presented before the BAC is the plus area which is provided under the TOR. That is the area which we are offering as a concession area. Whatever happens afterward is no longer the realm of the BAC. It was not presented before the BAC, so there are the BAC is unaware of any changes regarding the funds.
But I'm sorry, sir, but the BAC is part of the PPA and should be presented to all of the potential bidders over here.
What was presented before the BAC is this is the total area which we are offering out for 15 years. Now, in the event PPA is unable to perform the obligation to provide this entire area, that should be brought up during, if and when that happens, to the management. But as of now, this was presented before the BAC, the total area, the technical working group is.
But yes, sir, the DPWH plan is for execution in July of this year, July this year.
It's not presented before the BAC. We have no information regarding that. So what we're saying right now is the plus area provided for is what is provided for under the TOR.
Yes, but you made the TOR, right?
It was made by the PMO NCR South and was presented before the BAC. We have no info. However, with regard to information, we will look into that. Should there be a change in the TOR, we will issue a bid bulletin. But as of now, the TOR provides the plus area.
Then may I respectfully ask the PMO South for their answer to my question. Why is the DPWH plan not included in the terms of reference? Why is the North Bank, where the boat is sunken, not included in the terms of reference? Why is the fact that the Roro ramp that is at El Codo is inoperable because of silting? These are matters that are important to businessmen who are bidding. You are inviting us to bid. Yet, such information is not being disclosed to us. I think that in order to have a fair bidding, such information should be disclosed to all bidders.
Sir, we note your comment. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, I do. Are you aware that there is the Pasig Port Users Group who has written a petition, a position paper, protesting the 949% increase in dry bulk,
Sir, that is
7% increase in general cargoes?
Sir, that is also outside the fact.
Sorry, yes, I know. That is addressed to the PPA Board of Directors.
That is not addressed in the fact. So that is not within the scope of this previous conference.
Okay, so I just want you to be aware, and I want all of the other bidders to be aware that there is such a petition going around, and those things should be taken into consideration when calculating our bid, because we're businessmen. We are businessmen. If we don't have the correct information to make a bid, how can you expect us to make a fair bid?
Noted, sir. Do you have any questions?
Yes. May I have a copy of this recorded Zoom meeting?
Sir, it's being streamed online and you'll be able to access it during our YouTube.
Sorry, if you will kindly speak slowly.
Sir, well, if you want a copy, you can request the FOI namin. However, this is immediately after, this is being streamed online, and you can access it sa YouTube channel of PBA.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. My last question is, because of the many questions that have remained unanswered, may I request for another pre-bid conference, please?
We note your request. Should we decide to grant your request, we will issue a bid bulletin, but as of now, we will have to discuss the conduct of the second bid conference.
Thank you very much. And if your answer should be in the negative, will I get a reply back?
No, sir. You will only get a reply if we issue a pre-bid bulletin.
Sir, I'm sorry. My understanding of a pre-bid conference is so that you can listen to the concerns of the bidders. If I have to go through the Freedom of Information Act at a meeting at which I am present, that's kind of weird. If you are unable to answer the questions and we are unable, therefore, to place bids, that is also very concerning.
Questions were made, is the BAC aware of issues? And these issues, as I explained to you regarding the plus, the BAC is picking out what has been provided by the BAC by management for the total area. You haven't made any request to us. You're just asking the BAC if the BAC is aware of certain facts. We inform you that we're only aware of what the percentage was. And under the rules, we have to proceed with the procedure in bidding out this concession area.
Okay, then may I request the BAC to revise the bidding documents that we bought for 150,000 pesos each and redistribute it with the correct information for free.
What correct information?
The information I just told you, the Roro ramp is broken. There's something.
You mentioned certain facts, but what we provided for under the Q bar is the data provided to us by the South NCR South. It's the total area, and you're saying that certain areas can be used. However, the general opinion regarding the bidding out of the areas under the PTMC is in the whereas condition. So, if you're saying, well, if the information you're stating is true, you have advantage over the other bidders.
Then may I ask PMO South to provide you with the corrected information?
Well, Actually, sir, the TOR is templated under the AO, which was approved by the board. So this is the information which we're providing and provided for under the board. And you're asking us with regard to information which I mentioned to you was not provided for by the bank. Was not provided to the bank.
So,
Okay.
Sir, I'm having difficulty explaining to myself in my mind the difference between the BAC and the PPA South. You are both part of the PPA. It is your obligation to present to your bidders who you are inviting for bids all of the relevant information that we need as business persons to be able to make a reasonable bid to your offer.
Technical working group was in terms of reference as provided which we published under the Pasig for the Pasig River Manila in compliance with the AO issued by the EPA.
Sorry, can you repeat that slowly, please, sir?
Technical working group, if the TOR which we published was in compliance with the AO as provided for under the Port Terminal Management Framework.
Yeah, yes. I understand the Port Terminal Management Framework. What I'm saying is the facts that you have presented to the bidders are missing. There are certain disclosures that have not been made.
We note your comments, sir, and we will discuss it at the back afterwards. As we can only act on the information provided to us by the PMO, that is what we have issued and approved.
Then I ask that the PMO South provide the BAC with the corrected information so that us bidders can make reasonable bids. I don't think that is an unreasonable request.
We note your request, sir, and we will communicate with NCR South.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You should also note that the port users of Pasig will have indicated their intention to move away from Pasig. They will not subject themselves to 969% increases in tariffs. They will not subject themselves to 600% increases in tariffs because their consignees will not let them. They will move away, and there's not going to be much business at Pasig Port. That's for your information, sir.
Okay. Do you have any other questions?
No, I do not. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And now ask for the representatives of CISA, Nectar, or Services Incorporated. If you have questions regarding the document.
Anything else?
SNPSI.
Good afternoon.
SNPSI.
Asia Nectar Port Services Inc., sir.
Yes, you are.
I'm representing SNPC, so I'm Janice Moises.
Okay, Janice.
Yeah, I have a few questions, no. So when we downloaded the documents, just a clarification on JV consortium bidders. Are both parties required to be eligible to be able to bid, or just one party is sufficient?
Okay, technology group.
With respect to the legal requirements, both partners of the joint venture should submit all the legal requirements, while with respect to the financial and technical, compliance of one of the joint venture partners is the compliance of the joint venture.
Okay, so just to clarify, just to correct me if I'm wrong. So for legal, it should be both, but for financial, it's either one of the parties. Am I right?
At the moment, the technical working group is reviewing the
Hello? Is my understanding correct po?
Okay, technical working group.
I stand corrected under PPA Admin Order 12-2018. In case of a joint venture, under Section 17, in case of a joint venture, each partner shall submit the legal and financial eligibility required under this section for purpose of determining compliance with the technical and financial eligibility requirements the satisfaction by a joint venture partner or by the joint venture partners, whether singly or collectively, of the said requirements shall be considered as sufficient.
Okay, thank you. Another question, in the minimum requirements of the equipment as listed in Annex D, should this be company owned or can be leased?
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
In Annex D, so you have provided us with the list of minimum requirements of equipment. And my question is this company owned or we can lease it out from a third party?
And the minimum equipment requirement as listed down in Annex D of the DOR can be leased out for both by the prospective bidder as long as the timing of the deployment is as scheduled. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have no more questions, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan?
We'll call on the representative from Manila Integrated Cargo Terminal Incorporated if they have questions regarding the bid docs.
Manila Integrated Cargo Terminal Incorporated. Manila Integrated Cargo Terminal Incorporated. Can you hear me? Manila Integrated Cargo Terminal Corporation. Miss De Leon. Miss De Leon, can you hear me? Miss De Leon. Let's cycle back. Let's go to the next one.
Ask for the representatives of Manila North Harbor Port Incorporated if they have questions regarding the bid.
Manila North Harbor Port Incorporated. Thank you. Okay. Lapit na lang yun. Okay, Manila North Harbor Port Incorporated.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. And good back. I am Attorney Mark Vincent Escalon of Manila North Harbor Port Incorporated. Sir, if I may propound several questions.
Okay, go ahead.
Sir, on the labor aspect, it mentions that the winning bidder shall absorb the port workers. May we know how many port workers will be absorbed by the winning bidder? Is there a number or a list?
Sino nasa PM? Si Joe Permanent. PM?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair.
Ilan ang port workers and do you have a list?
Port workers.
Yes.
Port workers.
Sir, napag-baby sir yung nila yung oras
Sabi.
nila. Napag-baby. Kaya sila mga extra labor na 16.
Accordingly, sir, around 30.
Around 30. Do you have a list?
Would this list be made available, sir? Or the 30 is so are we confirming that the port workers mandated to be absorbed by the winning bidder is just 30, more or less?
Well, so PMGO Port, under the rules, the winning concessionaire must absorb all qualified port workers. They're trying to confirm that the list is more or less 30 port workers. Is that correct?
More or less, sir. We will verify with the we will confirm with the documents.
And just to confirm, sir, this excludes, and therefore there is no obligation on the part of the winning bidder to absorb office personnel and management and supervisors.
That's correct, USD. Okay, for the port workers, not the office personnel.
Would there be an available copies of collective bargaining agreements, if any, for these covered workers?
Tim Joffer, is there a copy of collective bargaining agreements for port workers? Are you aware of any collective bargaining agreements?
Collecting, come again, sir?
Between, well, there's a union and management involving the port workers. Unionized by port.
I'm sorry, sir. I cannot understand very well. The audio seems ano.
Workers are unionized and whether there is an existing CBA between the existing operator and the port workers.
I'm not aware of existing CBA between the management and the port workers, sir. We will have to clarify that, sir.
This will be clarified considering the discussion was asked. We will communicate with all bidders regarding the answer.
I hope you understand because one of the essential features of the draft contract is that winning bidders actually obligated to absorb and to
May CNA ba yung union?
Providing a copy.
Thank you very much, sir.
All bidders, you don't need to ask the question again. The secretary will inform you considering that you are able to answer at this time.
Yes, sir. Sir, and would this be on a day one employment, so far as those that are to be absorbed, meaning to say they will be considered as new hires? Without regard to tenure.
They're considered new hires and others are the Board of Information Services Department. Okay, so the port labor trust fund is still terminated at the end of the contract, so it's a new one, port labor trust fund.
And that trust fund, madam, will be, insofar as back years, insofar as their tenure from original, that will be shouldered by the PRSF of that existing cargo terminal, and that will not be the responsibility of the winning bidder. The responsibility of the winning bidder starts on day one. Thank you, ma'am. Just to tell me, sir, would there be any cases, whether labor, sir, that would affect, just for perhaps for our own knowledge, sir, of a labor case relative to CBA, if any?
PM?
Yes.
Can you afford?
Yes, sir.
Are there any existing labor disputes? Are you aware of any existing labor disputes?
We are not aware of any existing dispute between the workers and the cargo operator at this moment, sir, or even in the past.
Sir, now on the different topics, sir, on infrastructure. So the terms of reference, we note this a minimum number of equipment and gears that is provided for. So the question is, how about for port structures and facilities? Are there any minimum requirements and design parameters?
Under tier 1, the concessionaire has no obligation regarding the infrastructure.
Sir.
Correct. Okay. And tier 3, sorry. Under tier 3. Thank you. Thank you. I get this one. You can elaborate more.
Sir, under the terms of reference, there is no required port facilities at this moment. However, for the duration of the concession period, when there is a need for the repairs and maintenance of the port facilities, the winning bidder repair the facilities.
Sir, I think that is a vital topic to clarify.
There is no infrastructure obligation for the concessionaire. However, you are required to maintain the facility. So if it is damaged, my formula is whether it's PPA, and so it depends on the damage. If it reaches a certain threshold, it's PPA, but before that threshold, it's the obligation of the operator.
So because I asked that, because one of the requirements, for example, in the bid security, it is said there that your concession fee plus port development cost.
There's no port development cost for tier 3.
Sir, for the computation of the bid security, only the 15-year minimum concession fee shall be the basis of the computation of the bid security.
For the sake of clarity and good order, perhaps, if I may request or suggest, if we will look at the invitation to bid, it is specifically expressed the stage there for development. So, nakadudod na gulo lang.
Standard template kasi yan.
Okay.
Pero since there is no infrastructure requirement, it is only the minimum possession fee as basis for the security.
So that is clear. Will there be, sir, an existing structures to be turned over to the winning bidder?
Yes, sir. All these structures within the concession area as defined in section 3.1 of the TOR shall be turned over to the PMO. The asset registry shall be prepared by the PMO and will jointly be reviewed by the PMO and the PMO.
So if available, is there available water depth information? Because under the data,
Depth report.
Yes, sir.
Water depth.
Water depth.
Yes.
The existing water depth because of the siltation is very shallow up to now. So I think the maximum is around 2 meters. It needs to be dredged, sir.
Is the area covered by the recently fitted out dredging project?
On the what we call this, on the central portion of the Pasig River, in the middle, it's quite deeper by deeper more than 2 meters there. But on the sides, on the north side and the south side, it's 2 meters and less than because of the
so what would be the depth? Not necessarily actual, but the design of the port side, sir. Would you know, sir?
Depth report, what is the design depth of HO-BAC?
The design?
Design depth.
Two meters because of the barges, and the vessels.
So, dapat siya? Nagmamatch siya sa, yung actual niya is nagmamatch sa design depth niya of 2 meters.
The assigned depth should be more than that, sir. More than 2 meters.
Actual design depth?
Yes.
Are you aware of the actual? The actual design depth and the actual depth at the moment. Actually, PTCD, ay, dredging nakakaalam ko. After we started, inquire sa dredging, and then communicate with all the bidders regarding the site depth.
Okay, sir, thank you, sir. Sir, would the bidders be allowed or would they be receiving information on the historical volumes, at least for the last 5 to 10 years? Is that a possibility?
So it's found on the website. The historical data is in our website.
Okay, noted, sir. Now there's a volume forecast in page 42 of the TOR insofar as break bulk is concerned. However, ma'am, if you note on the tariff, it is further broken down into general cargo and consumer goods. Question, is there a breakdown of the break bulk vis-a-vis the volume forecast of general cargo and consumer goods? This question is being asked considering that the tariff is essentially very different for those two types of break bulk cargoes.
Take note.
Sir, for the computation of the incremental revenue considered in the computation of human consumption, there is no breakdown as to the general card items. We only use the general card items.
Okay. So in the volume forecast, ma'am, we should assume that it's all general fund.
Yes, sir. It's breakdown.
Is the part of passive labor, sir, for purely for domestic cargoes, or we can just handle international cargoes national?
Sir, at this moment, for the revenue consideration in the compensation is not for domestic cargoes.
So this part being weighted out is for domestic operations.
Yes, sir.
If available, ma'am, would we have an available data on nominal versus operational work then? Because I know that some of the work site are actually with informal settlers. And if the bid document says that the PPE will not be responsible for the removal of informal settlers, if I'm correct, ma'am, then it would affect the the work plan being bid out. Would there be some information on the paper work plan vis-a-vis the actual operational work plan as we speak? Napansin po kasi namin, sir, may mga informal settlers by the work.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
What is the actual area minus the area with the informal centers?
$42,000.
42076.
At wala.
Pag wala, pag meron.
43 to 47.
43, 43,
247.
247. 4247. Did you get that?
Yes, sir. Well, sige, pwede ko ba mag-site visit?
Yes.
O, kasi po yung tingnan ko yung napansin
They
namin.
encourage you to visit the first.
Yeah, okay. All right. And that being the case, meron po bang engineering plans and drawings available? If that would be available to the bidders. Okay, sir. Can I proceed, sir? Sir, there's a mention of a Philippine Ports Authority versus Remedios Rosales Bonigo. What is this case all about, considering that it was mentioned in the draft contract and it appears to be a major case? What is this about?
Klase ko yung PPA is as instrumentality. Yun lang ba sa caption? Dito ba?
On page 82, page of reference.
Sa extra case yan. Ito.
Contract ba ba?
Contract?
It involves the Batangas Port Zone in the jurisdiction of PPA on the jurisdiction of zoning, planning, development, and utilization.
Will this affect in any way the project?
No. It's basically the authority of PPA regarding the management of port. Pinapasok to that, but it was for information, it was examined.
And sir, the PPA has won this case and that the Supreme Court has affirmed the right of the PPA to classify port zones. Is that a correct understanding, sir? Thank you, sir. So just for the criteria forward, can we confirm that the bidder that will be chosen will be the one that will submit the highest concession fee?
Yes, but
That's not correct.
yes, Peter
With the
is
highest
has passed the legal, financial, and technical requirements to submit the highest concession fee.
Yes, sir. And sir, how does the port development cost now play the picture? Again, this is related to my earlier question, unless it's the same answer. It's only concession fee, period. It's not concession fee and port development
Yes.
cost because there's no requirement.
This is under tier 3. Under tier 3, there is no infrastructure requirement for this concession.
Sir, can you request clarification what is the highest rated fee? What does it mean?
Well, it's after the post-qualification, after the technical working group has evaluated the
Post-qualified.
so post-qualified. That after post-qualifying the bidder, the highest bidder, he becomes he is declared the highest rated bid.
So I note that there is a requirement for the submission of business profiles. What do you mean by business profile? There's no specific mention of submission of SBC, papers, GIS, etc. Is this the contemplation of PPE?
Technical working group.
Because if the requirement is Filipino corporation, etc., I don't see any requirement, express requirement to submit corporate papers.
Wala kasi kami template for the business profile. So, parang gagawa kayo ng document na parang ipapasok nyo yung mga information relative doon sa yung mga important
Yes, of course, this is technical, no? What are the exact documents that we would require from the bidder to prove that they are indeed qualified? So, if one bidder does not submit SEC paper, then the other submits an SEC paper, then how would we know if that bidder is qualified or not?
Kasi
Because wala pong nakalagay dito na
pero during post-qualification kasi kami mismo nagre-request sa SEC ng mga GIS, ng mga SEC documents ng bidder. So, bine-verify namin siya during post-1.
Telling us that we cannot find any instruction in the EOR documents require the submission of the documents.
yes, because the documents stated in the bid format are very stringent. It actually lists the exact forms and documents that the bidders need to submit. I just note that there's no requirement, if indeed there is none, to submit corporate papers, official regulatory corporate papers.
Well, it's
Business
business
profile.
profile basically establishing you basically you argue that you possess all the qualifications and none of the disqualifications.
So doon na po ilalagay lahat.
Doon ko ilalagay ko. And then this siya, as stated earlier, that will be verified during the post-operation review after the PDS.
Ay, business profile, sir. Yun. Pero wala kaming form na
Pero walang other document establishing the establishment of qualifications.
Parang
This is, well, also we've been doing this since 19,000.
nag-report kami ng isang document
ang hirap
na
na sir, hindi kami nasasabi na
Okay na tayo doon? Technical working group. So, sa business profile, you put down your arguments on when you establish that you have all the qualifications and none of the disqualification, which is separate from the omnibus statement, di ba? Then dito,
Yes, sir.
parang pinapakilala nila yung business nila, pinapakita nila na they're qualified.
Yes, sir.
Requiring submission of documentation. Can it be accredited if you haven't submitted your SEC?
Pero business profile nila, contest, basically it's a introduction to introducing yourself and arguing that you have all the qualifications and not the disqualifications.
okay. So kumbaga,
So,
up to the leader
as in
to
with technical working group, there is no required format for that as long as you have to put a business profile.
okay, so thank you. So in page 33 of the terms of reference, there's a statement, average gross service time at birth per vessel, gross service time, and then average working time at birth. What is the difference sir, of the two?
Technical working group.
The question is that the reason it is asked because if you look at the example, the gross is 60 hours and the net is 5 hours. Parang alam po kasi ng difference. I understand ibig sabihin ko na pag net po kayo, tatanggalin po natin yung mga not at fault. Pero is this correct, sir? Ma'am, 60 hours and 5 hours?
Sir, to answer your question, no, the average gross service time, as defined in PKEU number 03-2016, with the time spent by the vessel at work, including working time and idle time, it is the difference between the time vessel arrived at and departed from work for anchorage. While the average working time at work, as defined in the same EO, means the time spent by the vessel at work while loading and unloading excluding idle time. The KPI set po in the terms of reference is based on the existing KPI at the port. I think the same was increased by 50%. The PM also Harbor can confirm.
Now, if you are saying that the KPIs actual have increased by 50%, then the question is, what is the KPI for the winning bidder? The statement in this bid or the increase po?
Sir, yung average gross service time po is maintained yan, sir. 60 talaga yung existing nila ngayon. And then yung, I think, 5 hours po. We'll check, sir.
Andiyan na, sir, pakala namin. Yes, sir.
So, yung KPI po stated in the bid, yun pa rin po yun.
Yes,
Yan,
sir.
hindi ko this is the minimum. Pwede ko mas mataas.
Last ko na lang po. What is the basis, ma'am, of the PPA projections? Kasi kung may projections po doon ng year 1 to 14, is it based on a certain percentage na multiply po natin year on year? Or is is based on a certain policy. Ano po ba yung sa years 1 to 15 po? So it assumes a 5% increase.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's based on the minimum of 4% to 5%.
Okay. Ma'am, variable fee. I note that there's a variable fee. Pag lamagpas po kayo sa binanggit na threshold. Yung nagpas po doon, 60% po doon or 80% and 60% as the case may be. Sa PPA po mapupunta doon.
Yes, sir.
Sir, thank you very much. That is for Manila North London Project. We will just only thought if the PK deems it appropriate to issue bid bulletins for some purposes for information.
With regards to questions which you were able to
Okay na po yan.
indicated to all of you, bid bulletins, mga sila po.
Yes, sir. Thank you po.
Secretary.
To your representative of Subic Lake Port Green Terminal Services Incorporated, if they have questions regarding the bid.
No questions? Okay. To get break siya niya, may kailangan ako pa sa inyo.
Meron pa ba? Pagkakas ng Subic ko.
Diba nila cargo integrated eh? Bakit sila bumag sa iyo? Nagpakisabi sa iyo. Yung kailangan mo siya sa iyo at saka legal.
Kasi siguro yung mga financial forms sa ano. Dahil siya sa legal. Dahil siya sa legal talaga. Pero part siya ng legal. So, ito talaga eh.
We ask from the representative of Megalisters Cargo Handling Corp if they have questions regarding the picture.
Megalister, can you hear me? Megalister?
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Do you have any questions, Brad?
Yes, I have a question on is the PTMO authorized to lease?
Yes, sir. The PTMO is authorized to lease the concession, like the area within the concession area, wherein rental rate are considered in the computation of minimum concession.
We learned that there were portions of the plus where it's being leased to a third party. It is indicated that those contracts were already expired. Is there a pending case between the lessor and lessee?
DM, may pending case ba? DM,
Sila bahala na sila kung anong gawin nila dun sa...
DM, can you hear me?
Hi, sir, yes.
May pending PPA and the lessee sa Pasig.
If I get it right, sir, the question is, are there third party?
No. The question is there a pending, kasi, I don't know yung mga list, is there a pending case between PPA and the lessee?
Pending case between the
PPA and the lessee?
well, as far as I am concerned, last Friday the legal department has received a notice from RTC informing that Mega Movers has filed a TRO, and this is being heard now at the RTC, sir.
Also, there is a pending case?
Yeah, this is at this instant.
Ano yung zero?
But in this case, the what we call this, the petitioner or the complainant is Mega Movers.
And what are they asking? Are you aware what they're asking for sa case? Ano yung prayer?
They are applying for a TRO, something like that. The sound, the prayer.
Secretariat, regarding yung prayer sa case. So, Mega Lister, per information from the DMO, there is a pending case.
Okay. My next question, sir, is the leasing part of the concession fee, or it will be subject to a variable fee?
Is the leasing
included in the concession fee, or it will be subject to the revenue on leasing? Will it be subject to variable fees?
Sir, hindi na po siya kasama sa computation ng variable fee since
so it's part of the concession fee?
Yes, sir. Kasi computed na po siya doon sa concession fee.
So it's part of the concession fee?
Part of the concession fee. So, I have no further question. Yes. May I clarify, sir, part of the concession fee?
Okay.
Yes. So I have no questions, sir. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Okay. May clarification. Mega Lister, okay na? Okay na. Okay, let's go back to MICT, Mr. Leon. Can you hear me? Mr. Leon, for the information of the members of the BAC, the Secretariat has been recommended. Okay. Mr. Leon, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Hello.
Can you turn on your camera? Okay. Good afternoon. Do you have any questions for us?
No, no more further questions, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Prospective bidders, over the course of our bidding out of the PTMC contract, we have discovered several aspects where it nagkakampi mga bidders. So we decided to ask every pre-bid to give these reminders para hindi sa technical aspect magkamali. Okay, Secretary?
Please be reminded for joint ventures that the joint venture agreement reviewing authorized payments from potential joint venture partners and the letter of intent should be submitted together upon buying the bid document. Otherwise, each potential joint venture partner must purchase the bid document separately. Also, as a reminder again, each partner shall submit the legal and financial eligibility forms as required under the AAO 12-2017. For determining compliance with technical and financial eligibility requirements, the satisfaction of one of the joint venture partner or by the joint venture partners, whether singly or collectively, shall be considered sufficient. As for the requirement of PTA accreditation, the bidder must submit its valid PTA certificate of accreditation for port terminal services. Otherwise, the bidder must present all of the following: cargo handling, PTA operations, RORO operations, certificate of accreditation. A prospective bidder must not be engaged in any business activity, whether primarily or otherwise, which will prevent it from properly and sufficiently discharging its contractual obligations under any terminal management contract to be awarded. This prohibition shall cover entities engaged in maritime transportation. For the forms of bid security, it shall be in the form of cash, cashier's check, or manager's check, or bank draft, or guarantee, or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a personal or commercial bank, provided, however, that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a universal or commercial bank if issued by foreign bank, or in the form of a surety bond callable upon the bank issued by the GFIS or BPA accredited insurance company. As for the requirement of bookbinding, the original and all copies of the bid shall be properly bookbound, hardbound, chronologically paged, and properly labeled with index stamps. The pages of the bids must be stitched together. In the case the bidder is a corporation, the bidder should submit an original duly signed and notarized omnibus sworn statement with attached secretarial certificate showing that the client possesses the authority to submit the bid, represent the corporation, and sign the contract. There are minimum standards facilities that need to be maintained in the PTBs as provided under PPA guidelines. Should there be a need to get a copy of the said guidelines, please coordinate with the secretary. For the relevant bids, the deadline for submission of bids is on April 25, 2022 at 9 a.m. here at the 7th floor conference room PTA head office, while the opening of bids is on the same day, 10 a.m., also here at the 7th floor conference room. Only one representative per bidder will be allowed to attend the opening of bids on site if we have reached a maximum of 5 bidders who will be attending the opening of bids. The representative must present a BAC cert with post-version. That is what certain.
Okay, thank you. That ends the written conference portion of our agenda. Prospective bidders. Mega Lichter, you have raised your hand. Mega Lichter, can you hear me?
Can I make a follow-up question?
Yes.
Regarding with the pending case of movers versus the existing operator, if ever the PPA failed to turn over the port to the winning bidder, is that subject to a contract negotiation of contract?
The negotiation? If the if to turn over the port to the winning bidder, you're asking if it will be subject to a negotiation?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a hypothetical, and I think it's outside the scope of the act.
Okay. Okay. And regarding with engagement with any maritime activity, what is the meaning of primarily and or otherwise?
If it is in your purpose, as a primary or secondary purpose.
If it's okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. I have no further question.
Secretariat. Anything else for this aspect? Next. Okay, that's the previous conference portion.